This is the Zeitgeist Lab Collection podcast. I am Alex.
And I am Brian.
And we are here for episode 4 of our first collection in which we're exploring drive-through records. Brian, what's going on tonight?
Not a whole lot. I just got my pod bevies here. I'm just ready to pod.
What are we drinking?
I'm double fisting pod bevies right now.
Nice.
So I got the CBD sparkling water that I'm obsessed with.
I saw you post about that. Is that good? Like, does
It's
it actually
amazing,
taste
yeah.
good?
Yeah, like I got the grapefruit flavor. I got a 6-pack of it yesterday. I'm down to my last one. And it was $18 for the 6-pack.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
But yeah, no, this shit will make you very, very calm, and it'll make you take a nap if you're in the right mood.
Now, with CBD, I know there's supposedly a lot of health benefits, right? But it's the whole thing is like it doesn't get you high because there's no THC. But as someone who does, smoke weed and get high, like what is the benefit of doing the CBD in addition to or instead of just like the weed?
It's not really like in addition to it or in place of it. It's more just like it's more of just a thing to like have just kind of calm your nerves and stuff. Like
okay.
Yeah, it's just really relaxing.
Yeah.
More than anything. So
yeah,
that's what kind of draws me to it, because not every strain of weed has a more relaxing component to it. You know,
right.
Some are more like more brain heavy or like brain oriented, just kind of makes you really heady and
Yeah.
I don't know. So I got that, and then
so the weed gets you high enough to not be bothered by Taylor Swift was what I think what I learned from you yesterday.
Yeah. With my Fentuzler Friday review, last one of the year, and then
you're not doing any more this year.
No, I don't think anything else is coming out.
Oh, okay.
But then I got my strawberry lemonade. This lemon superior lemonade.
Okay.
The brand.
So like a sip of one and then a sip of the other, or how do you?
Yeah, I think we're going back and forth. It's a little. It's like we're recording a little later than usual, so I got this CBD water before I go to bed. So
gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. No, like I had one can like the first time, and then I was just like took like a 3-hour nap like afterwards. I was so relaxed and just,
nice.
Yeah, so hopefully that'll help me sleep, and then
I know you have like you've started a new job, but you are still kind of in between because you're just training. So I'm used to seeing you on Twitter like pretty much all the time. So there have been times recently where I'm like, where the hell is he? Because you don't tweet for like a few hours at a time. So it sounds like you're probably just napping.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's when I'm not tweeting, I'm napping pretty much.
Nice.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna have to get used to, or everyone's gonna have to get used to not hearing from the Fentuzler as much once I start this job, like officially.
Are you gonna tell your new client about the Fentuzler, or did you already? No, is that like your opening line?
No, jeez, no. Like we haven't really talked about this on the pod very much, but like the Fentuzler is like not something I'm embarrassed about per se, but like definitely not something I tell like a lot of people about, just because it's just really weird and requires a lot of explanation. I feel like
it does require a lot of explanation. I guess like a little peek behind the curtain here. Last weekend, we recorded with one of our guests an interview that'll be later on in the collection, and we use Zoom, so when we have more than just the two of us, we only get like 40 minutes. And this particular guest happened to ask about the Fentuzler with like less than 4 minutes left, and I was not sure you were going to be able to explain it in that much time and answer the question he was asking.
Yeah, I feel like he only got a glimpse into like what the Fentuzler is like.
Yeah.
But yeah, that didn't make the episode, but you'll hear that guest soon enough. That was a good one.
It was.
So look out for that.
And like I tweeted today, like that one's in the can. It's ready whenever we decide to use it, but we've got another few guests hopefully lined up. So I think we're going to have a really good run of episodes here in this collection, assuming that I don't lose the audio.
I was going to say, as long as you don't lose them, we got some really good guests coming on.
Yeah, so that was like my big stress. So we kind of record like we it seems like we've been doing episodes really close together. So this, when you're listening right now, if you're listening the day it drops, this is like December 21st, I think. So that's a little over a week from when we're recording. But last weekend, we were getting ready to release our Hello Goodbye episode, and we had an awesome set of guests. We did like an interview that I thought was just great. I had it all edited, all exported, and then I deleted that entire part, like that entire folder off my computer, and I tried a whole bunch of like hacker man type skills to recover it. And if you follow us on Twitter, you know all I got was a 2-minute conversation about Kid Rock was the only thing I was able to recover. So
The most essential part of the episode,
yeah,
though.
absolutely. Like I'm glad that that was what I recovered.
Kid Rock discourse is always the most important part of any podcast, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's the most important part of any conversation. If he comes up, you know that like you really need to lean in, listen, take notes because
Yeah, I mean, he's got a lot of smart things to say.
he
That
does.
that Kid Rock fella,
He's an
a
American
lot of good
badass.
opinions. Yeah, exactly. The devil without a cause.
All right, what else? What else do we need to go over before we get into our album here, or is there anything?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't have any weird stories from this week that happened to me. It's a pretty normal week.
A pretty normal week.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I've got something. We were just tweeting about this actually. I want to know, is it really like no matter where you're at in Wisconsin, you're within walking distance of a liquor store? Is that accurate?
Yeah, pretty much, dude. Like it's yeah. Yeah, I don't have to go very far to get drunk over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard in Canada they don't have liquor stores. They're more like government buildings that serve alcohol or sell alcohol. That's like the only way you can buy it from a store in Canada.
Well, that's how it is in Utah. Like, if you want,
That's so
I mean,
weird.
they have beer like in grocery stores here, and for a
Yeah.
while it was just like hops-based beer, like your traditional like Bud Light type beers, because they used to have like the Mike's Hard Lemonade or those type of beers, and then there was like a scandal where this kid had like an elementary school kid had a Mike's Hard Lemonade in his packed lunch at school because the mom didn't know it was an alcoholic lemonade. And so
Mhm.
the state legislator freaked out and said, you can't sell those in grocery stores anymore. And it was like 10 years that we didn't. And just a few years ago, we finally got those back in grocery stores. But any like spirits or wines or anything, there's specific liquor stores that are run by the state government that you have to go to get stuff like that.
So they basically ban alcohol in Utah after one kid finds a Mike's Hard in his lunch. But if someone gets like shot during recess or something or during a school shooting, then they're just like, well, there's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah, that's Utah, baby.
I guess so.
So Wisconsin, then you guys have alcohol like right in like grocery stores and
I mean,
convenience
it's the
stores and
only
all
thing to
that?
do here. Yeah,
It's
I
the
mean,
only
that's
thing to
all we
do.
got going for us is cheese and alcohol and
And the Packers.
Packers. Yeah, the Packers are still really good.
You guys have a basketball team too, right?
Yeah, we got the Bucks and then we got
That's
the
right.
Brewers in baseball.
Okay. You have more sports teams than Utah does.
That's true. Yeah, you guys only have the Jazz.
Mm-hmm. We have a soccer team too, but fuck soccer.
What's the soccer team in Utah?
Real Salt Lake.
Oh, yeah, never heard of it.
Yeah. Do you guys have a professional soccer team?
We don't. No.
Okay.
No. Yeah, fuck. We said fuck soccer too over here.
You guys are too American for soccer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're too. That's the issue. Yeah, we're too American.
All right. Well, so let's get down to business here. We are here to talk about the Rx Bandits. Specifically, we are going to be talking about their 2001 album Progress. And thanks to the request of some of our Twitter followers, we now have a clip submitted to us from Marston Ash, our resident merch pundit, with his analysis of the cover art from the album Progress, followed by a clip of the only single from the album, Analog Boy.
So the first question I have is how you pronounce the name of the band. I don't know if it's like the RX on pharmaceutical labels, like you pronounce it recipe. So I don't know. Is it RX Bandits or Recipe Bandits? I guess I'll find out later when I listen. But yeah, in terms of cover art, I mean, hard to start with this one. I mean, first off, I gotta completely acknowledge that, like, because I do not know anything about this band, I have no knowledge about who the members are or what their background is, and obviously that could have a pretty dramatic impact on whether or not their usage of this image of a man in a war bonnet is appropriate or not. It's hard to ignore, though, in terms of first impressions, that without knowing that about the members, the connotations of using that imagery, particularly alongside the word progress, I don't know. I don't want to read into things too much, but there could obviously, I don't know, it could look not great. And I think that that's why, in terms of guesses about what this might sound like, it does automatically make me think of a certain era of post-hardcore that I think incorporated a lot of imagery of marginalized people, certainly a lot of First Nations imagery, but also a lot of imagery of the mid-20th century Black Power movements and civil rights movements. But yeah, there was certainly an era of post-hardcore in the 2000s that really, I think, tapped into the implications of political progressivism and particularly of political radicalism that's and otherness that is tied into some of that imagery. Obviously, in hindsight, I don't know if with a current day dialogue that we have about using that sort of imagery, I don't know if people would feel the same way about bands making use of it, again with the caveat that I don't necessarily know who is in this band. But setting potential problematics aside, the fact that it does remind me of that kind of era of imagery leads me to think that I feel like this is probably one of those post-hardcore bands that say that they are influenced by the Minutemen, and what they mean by that is that they're a band that used to have scream vocals that has increasingly started to sound like the National. Bands with really, really good guitar tone and probably some slide guitar and a lot of what's that that move where you push on the body and neck of your guitar at the same time to create like a natural pitch change, like the whammy bar, but you're just pressing on it. I don't know, bands who do a lot of that and who have like really, really good quality resonant guitar tone, but who all of their songs sound exactly the same. I don't know, I without naming some specific names of Canadian bands that are people I actually know, probably getting myself in trouble. I can't go a whole lot further than that, but it definitely has the stink of a certain kind of CanCon post-hardcore about it, and I'll just leave it at that.
That's a pretty slow song to start off with. So
I was gonna say, yeah, not a really booming intro.
No,
that one.
So I feel like, oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, not to spoil my thoughts about the record, but I think when you said here's Analog Boy, I was like, yes, that's like the one song I like from this album.
The one song.
Okay. Not the only one, but so that was definitely the highlight for me.
So this is probably a good place to plug our Patreon. Patreon.com/ZGLabPod. If you want to hear a lot of hot takes about other ska songs, that's the place to do it right now. We have one episode up so far where we review the Drive Thru Records Christmas compilation, Christmas Gone Wrong. So feel free to pop on there, check it out. $3 a month. It'll get you access to that episode and all the bonus ones that I'm sure we'll have coming up. But
less than the price of a McRib.
Is that true?
Patreon.
How much am I going to pay for this fucking McRib on Thursday?
I think it's like. Wait, are you saying you're going to get it on Thursday?
Yeah, on Thursday I'm going to get a McRib.
Nice.
After my
I didn't know
diet's
about
over. I tweeted
Wow.
it today from our pod account. You need to pay
Oh,
attention
really?
to the socials. Yeah.
Whoops. Yeah, I think it was like 4 and some change.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, everyone go get a McRib and then sign up for the Patreon.
No,
And
don't get a McRib. Get the Patreon because it's cheaper.
It is cheaper. But if you have $7, you get both.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Like that's if you're living paycheck to paycheck and you only have $7 left after all your paychecks for the month, McRib and the Patreon I think would be the two top priorities.
After the government takes all your wages from you.
Exactly. But you like that, right? Because they're going to distribute them to everyone. That's the idea of socialism, right?
That's what always happens.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you'll get to hear a lot of hot takes about ska music on that episode. And this is a ska record. So, what did you know about the RX Bandits before this? Anything?
I think my little brother liked them for a bit when we were growing up, and that's pretty much it.
Okay.
I didn't really get into them because my brother liked them.
Nice.
I was like, oh, he likes them, then maybe that's not that good.
Okay.
He has a podcast about emo, so what does he know, right?
And would you classify this as emo?
This was okay. So my beef with this record is, and I only listened to it once, but my beef with this record is that it tries to do so many different things throughout the album that it just suffers from an identity crisis.
Okay.
That like made it even less interesting.
Okay.
And like it tries to be like post-hardcore. It tries to be emo in some songs. Then there's like straight up like reggae songs that are really weird. And there's like some ska, like not as much ska heavy as I thought it would be.
Yeah.
And then they try like on the songs where they lean into the more pop punk angle. I thought those were good. Like what was the song we just played?
Analog
Alien
Boy.
Yeah, Analog Boy, not Alien Boy.
It's not. Maybe it's not Analog Boy. It's Anal OG Boy.
Yeah, that was my first screen name. Anal OG Boy. Yeah, but yeah, when it was more surprisingly to me, like I liked it more when it leaned into the pop punk sound. But yeah, this tried to do so many different things at once. And I just got really turned off by it for some reason.
Okay. I mean, I definitely agree that it does try to do a lot, but I think for the most part, I feel like it succeeds. I think this was like a great album. I had a lot of like, as we've been trying to figure out what releases to go over, I knew I wanted to do something by RX Bandits because I think they're a huge band in terms of talent, but they had a lot of different sounds throughout the years. They kind of started out as like a traditional ska band, and then they kind of moved into this sound. And I think this was kind of the tipping point album for them, 2001, before a lot of the old school ska people left the band and they turned into more of a progressive rock band after this. And so I think here you can feel like the push and pull of, well, what are we trying to do? And I actually think they execute it and find that balance really well. But the release after this, the Resignation, which was their last release with Drive Thru, was more progressive. I think it was more focused and clear on what they were trying to accomplish. And I had a hard time deciding which of the two albums I wanted us to focus on. But I really liked the one we picked, Progress. I think it's got a lot of solid songs. I think it's maybe a little too long, and towards the end it does falter. But like the first 8 or 9 songs, I really enjoy.
So like, do they become increasingly progressive as they go on in their career? Or?
I would say so. Well, I mean,
so this is more of like a mixed bag of an album in terms of like their sound, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Huh. Interesting. Yeah. So this is like, so they're on this one, they're just kind of giving you a little bit of everything, and their more albums, their later albums are more focused then.
Yeah, I would say so, and they're more. I mean, it's very clear that what genre it is. It's not. It doesn't kind of go all over the place, because I think, like you said, like to me, this is. I mean, from what I know about this band, they're a very liberal and progressively minded band, which is great. So to hear, for instance, Analog Boy, which I think is a great song, but to me, it feels like probably the closest they come to selling out. Like it's like you said, it's kind of like a straight up pop punk song almost. Like
Yeah.
it's very radio ready, and that doesn't seem like the type of vibe they necessarily would try to go through or go for rather.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. Like I was expecting it to be more ska heavy, and like the first song was like just straight up post hardcore, and there's like some screaming a little bit, but it's still the horns are still there, and I was like, what the fuck is this? Did you ever get into the band Folly?
No.
They're like a East Coast hardcore band, but they have horns, and they're like super heavy, and they have breakdowns and everything.
Okay.
But their whole thing is that they're like hardcore punk, but with horns. And I always hated that too.
You hated that?
It just felt really goofy. I don't know. Like,
okay. So I think you mentioned at some point before that you're actually really into jazz, yet it seems like whenever we talk about any sort of song that has a horn, you hate it.
I'm a music fascist, I guess. I like my music to be just one thing.
Okay.
I don't know where that comes from, but yeah, that's kind of what I'm learning about myself, is that I have like I hate funny music. I hate when music's funny on purpose. If there's going to be horns in music, it has to be ska or jazz. Like it can't be anything else. I don't know. I don't know the way my brain works anymore.
Okay. So, as we should, I did a little bit of research about this album. And you've said before you're not really big into lyrics. I tend to focus more on lyrics than maybe others. But apparently, this album was originally supposed to be titled Artificial Intelligence and the Fall of Technology. And it's supposedly like a concept album about technology.
Okay, I kind of got a little bit of that in the lyrics. Like the lyrics did actually stand out to me in like a bad way sometimes.
In a bad way?
Yeah, it just like felt like there's like I didn't know what they were going for. Like I definitely wouldn't have guessed it was a concept album.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Like this was one of my favorite albums 15 years ago maybe, and I didn't know that it was supposed to be a concept album. I just thought it was, if anything, I thought it was more like not conspiracy theorist album is right, but just like
that would be cool.
A very like I guess more of like a anarchist album, like fuck the
there needs to be more
ska
songs about the deep state.
Yeah, there could be a benefit to that. But yeah, I mean, I think Analog Boy definitely kind of speaks to this concept of being against technology, but I didn't pick that up in necessarily any of the other songs.
Yeah, like the lyrical themes around like just vague like revolution type themes, and like just they just felt like really vague and like juvenile calls for like revolution, but we don't know what we're like revolutioning about, which isn't a word, but yeah, it just felt like really like childish almost, like the way they're like they want to be political, but they don't really know specifically what to be political about. They just know that there needs to be a revolution. And I don't know. It felt very high school to me, which, I mean, in all fairness, I was the same way. So like, if I heard this, maybe I would have like gone apeshit for it. But
okay, so I think you've hit on something that I agree with. That there's like a lot of political stuff in here, and so I thought I wanted to pull up what I considered the most political song on the album, just even based on the title.
The one about Rwanda, yeah.
So it's called "In All Rwanda's Glory," and I want to go through the lyrics here on Genius, and shockingly, there's not a single annotation on this.
Huh. Okay, yeah, I had specific notes about like this section of the album.
Okay. Do you want to go over your notes first, or should we look at those lyrics about Rwanda?
Yeah, let's go over the lyrics while I look for them.
Okay, so verse 1. What do you want to be? Would you fight for your country? Leaders say, why don't you pick up a gun and shoot at somebody? But they're only going to protect you when the dollar sign is right. There's a war in every nation, but we turn our heads, deny. And then the chorus says, human rights went on vacation. Money took over a long time ago. cry for this racial war in all Rwanda's glory. There ain't no glory in a war, ain't no glory. And then the second verse, a black man or a white man or an Asian or a Mexican or an African or a South African.
The part where he like starts, sorry to interrupt, but like
you're fine.
the part where he like starts randomly listing off races was just so funny to me.
It's funny.
I didn't. Okay, so like the lyrics, admittedly, are a little more in depth than I made them seem like.
Okay.
Now that we're kind of reviewing them,
Yeah, but this part, like this specifically, this verse, I mean, yeah, he's listing off races, and I feel like this specific verse is probably the most reggae sounding thing on the album.
Yeah, was this on? Rwanda or Babylon? Because they're kind of like connected.
This, I mean, we're on. This song is in all Rwanda's glory, but yeah, there is a song called Babylon as well.
Yeah, those two like kind of flowed into each other kind of really well.
Yeah, I wonder if there's any. Well, let's see. Oh, yeah, so in all Rwanda's glory segues into Babylon. Let's see if there's any annotations on Babylon. Because if this is a concept album, I was kind of hoping for someone to kind of tell us something about it. Okay, here we go. All right, so we're looking at Babylon now. The chorus just says, Babylon don't make the rules. Babylon don't make our rules. They try to play us all for fools. Babylon don't make our rules. And let's see, what is our annotation?
Yeah, the Babylon song just felt like some white guy with dreads type shit.
They say there's annotation, but okay. So the annotation comes from Bailed Elos Locos. Bailed Elos Locos. And he just says, he says, term used by Rastafarians to refer to oppressive government.
Oh, that's what that means.
Apparently. I thought Babylon was a biblical thing.
Yeah, I have no idea. But yeah, like I didn't really get the message of the Rwanda song at first. So like when he just started listing off races, I was like, what the hell is going on? This is just I just thought it was really funny.
Yeah, well, I wonder, let me go back to that song. I want to see. So he lists off all these races, and then what does he say here? A black man or a white man or an Asian or a Mexican or an African or a South African or a Serbian or a Libyan. You're all one race. It's the human race, just a different smile for a different face. We're all one race. It's the human race, just a different smile for a different face.
Yeah, that wouldn't fly in 2020. I feel like
probably not. Yeah, that's like kind of the equivalent of like I don't see color, right?
Matter, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe that's not what they're going for, but who's to say?
Yeah, I mean, human rights went on vacation. Money took over a long time ago. I mean, I don't think that's necessarily wrong, but I think that's a very simplistic way of saying it, and kind of like you said, like a very juvenile distillation of
it
a lot of problems in the world.
Yeah, there are like multiple songs that like mention like a broken system, but they don't really know they don't really identify what system that is. Thought that was kind of childish, but
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe they were really young when they made this. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, 2001. I mean, I don't know how old any of them were, but this is 19 years ago. I really liked both of those songs. Although, I mean, for those of you who have listened to the episode Behind the Paywall, you may know that when this album came out, this really wasn't my politics. So it was, for me, it was more, I connected with it musically. I thought it was really good music, which is also odd for me because I've never been a ska fan. And like I said, a lot of these have some reggae feel to them, like you mentioned as well. And that's also not anything I've ever been really into. But for some reason, I really connected with this album.
Yeah, like the reggae song is just really reminded me of just like the white reggae bands in Madison.
Okay,
and all the white people with dreads
before,
in Madison, and they're everywhere. Yeah, yeah, it just left a bad taste in my mouth because that's all I could think of, and I just hate those people so much. Yeah,
but yeah, I really liked like Analog Boy. I thought was good. I liked Get, and that I feel that was kind of another mainstream type sounding one. But like I
like the title track a lot.
Progress, yeah. Like that was the other thing I was thinking. Like this is 15 tracks, which I feel like is far too long for a CD or an album. So I think up until today, when I was listening through it, I don't think I really ever got past track 9 more than a few times in my whole life because it just gets too long. But so I listened to like the last part, and there were some good ones. I liked Progress. I really liked Infection, like the closer, and but the other ones kind of towards the end, they're just forgettable, and that's where I feel like they really get unfocused. Like some of these, like they have a different singer, which I mean, there's nothing necessarily wrong with that, but just to have a different singer on one song, I think, and then we hear like more of like the traditional ska sound in a few of these songs as well. So I definitely think it could have been a more concise album.
Yeah, for sure. And like it like in my notes here I wrote it it lacks a lot of personality in a weird way.
Okay.
Like the vocalist like doesn't really stand out to me that much. Yeah, and like yeah, I just kind of wish they would have just committed to like one or just two genres. Like it seemed like they're just kind of it's like the whole album kind of had a feel of like will they or won't they like fully commit to ska? Because there's like ska all over the album and like horns all over the album, but like
so what is what is ska to you? Like is that just mean there's horns? Like is anything with horns ska?
No, it's
or
just like that like the
is
like
it a
that rhythm,
Yeah.
the like the pick it up kind of thing, and
yeah,
the horns don't always have to be there. I mean, they're like ska bands without horns, I think.
Are there? Okay. I don't know. I'm no ska expert, that's for sure.
I'm trying to think. I don't know. Yeah. I have a really complicated relationship with ska. Like I had a ska phase for sure, like in late high school.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I just don't go back to it at all. I mean, I like the specials, like the sort of early first or second wave ska. I think that's really good for like the summer. But once it gets like sort of gentrified in like the 90s, that's when I'm like, I don't know about this.
Okay. Yeah, according to some users on Reddit, Operation Ivy and Goldfinger and Dancehall Crashers would be
Ivy are good too.
Examples of ska bands with no horn section. Oh, and Sublime.
Oh yeah, I guess Sublime counts. That's another band I have a really love-hate relationship with.
Yeah, I mean, I know the really popular ones of Sublime, but I've never really explored their discography or anything. Not that it's very lengthy, but
no, I mean, there's some good stuff in there.
Yeah,
but I mean, that's like Sublime is like Bernie Sanders, where like the fans of that thing are terrible and annoying.
Yeah,
but like what's there is actually good. So it's like I'm like hesitant to say I like it.
Yeah,
because I mean, as far as all the politicians go, I think Bernie has the least bad fans. But like, it's just the Bernie bro image that like they cultivated. That's hard to shake. But
yeah, I see that.
Yeah, but that's in my head. Bernie Sanders and Sublime were basically the same thing. I guess.
Nice. Okay. All right. Any other notes on the album or thoughts?
Let's see here. Go through my notes really quick.
Sure.
Yeah, like halfway through, I just kind of gave up on the album. I mean, I listened to the whole thing, but like, it lost me like halfway through. So are they like more progressive? Yeah, I think you said earlier they get more progressive in their sound like later in their career.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I want to talk about maybe a couple songs on their next album since it's come up. So their most popular one. Go ahead.
Yeah, when I think of like progressive like rock, I always like think of like really good and intricate like guitar work.
Okay.
And like really long like drum solos and that kind of thing, but like the guitar work was like pretty basic, I felt.
Okay. Yeah, so their 2003 album was called The Resignation, and this song I think might be the one that opens it. It's called Sell You Beautiful.
Yeah, I think this is a little better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, I couldn't decide which way to go in terms of which album we should cover. I mean, we can certainly talk about some of the songs on this one as well, but I think it's definitely a more focused one. And then like their like most popular one probably. We listened to a clip of it on the episode with Marsden, but it's called Decrescendo. And I want to play the end of it because I think the end is where it gets really good.
Yeah, it gets a little more chaotic. Yeah, I like this a lot better.
So it's definitely a heavier sound. I think, I mean, those two clips that we just listened to, and by the way, that was Decrescendo from the album The Resignation, are pretty representative of what you get on this album. Yeah.
Yeah, and like the artwork looks like a Converge record.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. But it doesn't sound as chaotic as like Converge or
Sure.
like the Dillinger Escape Plan, but it gets it's like as close as they can get, probably.
Right. Yeah. So I guess I picked the wrong record to talk about then.
Yeah, that really looks like Converge artwork. That's really weird. I wonder if Jacob Bannon did the art, the singer for Converge.
I don't think so. I think it was actually a friend of the band. The same guy did the cover art for their next album as well, and The Battle Begun, which you can see right here.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. We've talked about aesthetics with Marsden before, and I still have no idea what I'm looking at. Well, I mean, I can tell you what I'm looking at, but I don't know what it's supposed to tell me about anything.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it kind of fits the band, I think.
Yeah.
In that you don't really know what to make of it.
And this record that we're looking at here, and The Battle Begun, this is actually probably my favorite record of theirs, but it's post drive-through, so it wasn't like in consideration to do the episode about, but I think this one is really good as well.
Is this like a more progressive rock kind of one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I really like this one. This is called In Her Drawer.
In Her Drawer? What has she got in her drawer?
I think it's drugs. I think she has a pill addiction.
Oh, cool. I've been there. Like I just casually said that.
Right.
What if we did a whole collection of drugs, like pills and stuff?
A whole collection about drugs?
Yeah, like all the great pharmaceutical stuff.
The essential pharmaceutical addictions.
I mean, that fits in with the pharmaceutical bandits. That's who we're talking about.
That's true, yeah. Mm-hmm. And you're going to be the CEO of Clonopin one day, so that works as well.
That's right, yeah.
Okay, so Rx Bandits, Progress. Should we get into some live versions here?
Let's see what this band looks like live.
Okay, so this is them doing In All Rwanda's Glory in 2009.
So they kept playing their reggae songs even long after the fact, huh?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, maybe it was just uploaded in 2009.
Yeah, I was gonna
Oh
say.
yeah, this is May 20th of 2005.
Okay, yeah.
None of them were wearing shirts.
And they're all white, right? Playing
Yes,
this
well,
reggae
I
music.
think the keyboardist is Asian.
Okay. Still, it's a far cry from traditional reggae.
Yeah. I mean, again, I think it's another example of, and we've talked about this, I think, every week now, another band that I think is a really solid live band, whether you like the music or not, they're playing it.
Yeah, I mean, it
Aptly.
sounds like the record for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, this is them playing Consequential Apathy live.
All right, let's go. Let's make it good. Let's make it good. Come on. There's no God. You'll regret in every word I say. Come on. It's like
Are they still a band?
Sorry, what did you say?
Oh, I thought you froze for a second. They're like, yeah, are they still a band?
I know they put out a record, I think, within the last 5 years, but I don't know if they're still active right now. And they've gone through a lot of lineup changes as well. The lead singer Matt and the drummer Chris are the only two original members left. And they've been on. They've been on since like whenever the band started in the '90s. But the rest of them, it's been kind of a rotating lineup. Okay, here's the one that you like. This is Analog Boy from 2011. Looks like this is the same show. Let's get to the.
At least they're all wearing shirts this time.
Yeah, well, not the drummer.
Oh, yeah. No. Yeah, dude, this song's catchy as shit. Analog Boy in a digital world. Damn, they were like singing songs about how like it's a digital world, like even 20 years ago.
Yeah,
We've been in this digital world for a while.
we have been. Okay, so this one I don't know that they play any of like an actual song, but this is like them freestyling at Bonnaroo in 2007.
It's just lies.
That sounds horrifying. Freestyling at Bonnaroo. Yeah, I'm surprised this band just had like they're just their whole aesthetic, like the white reggae guys, like
Well, they're all shirtless again, or at least the two people we can see.
I'm surprised this band wasn't like huge in Madison.
Oh, here comes the guitar player, shirtless as well. Oh, not even wearing any shoes.
These dirty hippies. What are you gonna do about them? Oh, I thought like when you said freestyle, I thought like you meant they were gonna start freestyle rapping.
Yeah, I think maybe whoever uploaded this should have called like jamming at Bonnaroo, or
Yeah, like this is like a regular ass jam sesh.
yeah, I don't know why they called it freestyling.
Yeah, I have no idea. So that was like less painful than I thought it would be.
Okay.
I kind of want, just for the podcast sake, I really wanted it to be like some freestyle rap.
Some freestyle rap. Let's see. White guy freestyle.
No, we don't have to
rap.
Thank you very much. Pleasure to be here. God save the Queen. The most common things.
This is just stand-up comedy. There's no rap here.
Yeah, I don't like to.
This is bullshit. I've been ripped off.
Yeah,
If
people-
you are a sommelier, then please go down to my dinner party. Tell me how to sniff it. You've got to take about 30 seconds before you sip it. Apparently, you've got to move it round, and your head thinks, saying, "Look at the legs. That's the mark on the rim." Don't know.
That was White Boy Spits Insane Off the Dome Freestyle Rap by Chris Turner. From July of last year, shockingly.
Wow.
Well, there you go. For the sake
Well, at
of the
least you
pod.
can't do that anymore with coronavirus happening.
Right. Okay, next we have the RX Bandits playing Who Would Have Thought live. He looks way different in this video.
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't look like he plays in a reggae ska band.
Seems
I
like
would
it'd
see
be
a lot of
really...
people yanking. I thought this was ska.
It seems like it'd be really hard to get, because like with guitars and drums, which are typically fairly loud instruments, it seems like it'd be hard to get a good horn sound in a live setting with those other types of instruments on there. But I mean, you can hear them all. They're
Yeah, no,
mic'd
they
well.
sound good live. Where's all the skanking?
Where's all the skanking?
know.
Okay, and then that's so that's the end of the live videos, except for I do have a late submission here. Let me grab it. So I was messaging with intern of the pod, Randy, earlier.
You have an intern?
Yeah, Randy from Finch.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And I asked him for any specific stories about RX Bandits because I know they played with them a lot. He didn't have anything specific to mention, but he did say that a lot of times at like Finch and the RX Bandits would play together as like a super group or something like that. And
Whoa, what?
he sent me a video, if it will load, of them playing at Chain Reaction, which is a venue in California in 2005, I believe. So let's see.
This is Finch and so, they're covering Mexican in a bottle. That's good. Okay. That's the singer of Finch, yeah.
I would imagine it's definitely not the singer from RX Bandits.
Right. We got someone on the Fonzos going.
Yeah. That's really weird because I wouldn't I know they were on Drive-Thru at the same time, and I think and I don't know a lot about bigger labels. I don't think there's necessarily this family feel, but I think on Drive-Thru a lot of the bands were very close. But Finch and RX Bandits I wouldn't say are really similar musically, so I think it's interesting they were playing together.
I never would have guessed that they I never would have guessed that this video exists of them playing a song together.
For sure. And I think Randy said they did this, not infrequently.
That's cool.
Yeah. So yeah, that's another tidbit from intern Randy. Follow him on Twitter at Focus Groups.
Follow our intern.
GROUPZ.
He's not getting paid.
Yeah. When he sent that video, I told him it was major intern credit though. So. Okay. All right. You ready to hear some covers?
Yeah.
Still didn't find that doo-wop cover I've been searching for. I don't know if I ever will. Okay, this is a group called Nuclear Holiday covering Analog Boy. Oh, wait, no. Sorry, this is a group called Nuclear Holiday with a song called Analog Boy, but it's not a cover of the RX Bandits song.
Oh, good. Is this the... What the hell is this? Looks like that, like a battle of the bands or something.
Maybe.
The singer guitar player looks like he's in the Parzival.
Alright, so that was a band called Nuclear Holiday with their song, or maybe a different band's song called Analog Boy. That was
Yeah, it
uploaded
does
by...
not sound like our Analog Boy.
No, doesn't sound like our Anal OG boy. So that was uploaded by Edgar
Anal OG.
Enzaladua in 2011. Okay. All right. Now I think the rest we have are covers. This is some band. It doesn't list here who they are, but they did a whole cover set of RX Bandits songs.
Whole cover?
Here. So I don't think they're doing any from Progress, but I didn't notice here they list what. Oh, wait. Oh, here they go. At 1618, they cover Consequential Apathy, which is from Progress.
Are they really a popular band to the point where they have like a whole tribute set?
No, this is
dedicated?
weird. I could hardly find any covers of them, especially from this era.
Really? Oh.
Oh, there's some skanking.
Oh, nice. Finally.
The guy skanking looks like the actual singer from RX Bandits.
Maybe it's secretly him. He's
Maybe.
rocking out to his own band songs and doesn't want anyone to know.
Doesn't say what band this is, but it was looks like a set in New Brunswick, New Jersey at the Tavern on Halloween in 2014. Oh, this must be one of those things where some bands will cover like pretend to be another band basically for Halloween. I mean, they're doing pretty good with it.
Yeah, like if you didn't tell me this was like a cover set, I would have just assumed it was RX Bandits.
Yeah. Okay.
That's because I have
unfortunately,
such limited knowledge of this band.
yeah, unfortunately, we've got some types of covers that I don't really care for, but it was really all I found. So here's a drum cover of Analog Boy. And this is uploaded October 11th, 2010 by RD Leon 079. Oh, he's wearing a Spider-Man shirt.
It's always a good sign.
He's wearing some cargo shorts, which is a good sign because cargo shorts are the shit.
I don't know. Yeah, I think we might be split on that one. I was going to declare our podcast an anti-drum cover podcast.
An anti-drum cover one? Well, I mean, I would agree if there were actual covers of these songs anywhere, but apparently I picked songs or albums that just don't have a lot of covers.
Right.
This is a boring-ass cover. It doesn't even look like he's enjoying it. He's thinking too hard.
Yeah, it doesn't even sound like he's playing along with it.
No, it doesn't. Okay. All right, here's a band covering Babylon. This is from June of 2013, uploaded by Nash Harper, and the band is called Oracle Jane's Station. What the hell are they using to record this?
I was thinking the same thing. Someone's got a shaky recorder.
I mean, I didn't necessarily think it could get more white than the actual RX Bandits, but these guys are pretty white.
Yeah. It's damn near transparent.
They don't even have any horns. Like, what is this shit? I don't know. I feel like also, both for this band and RX Bandits, when you start singing like that, It's like borderline cultural appropriation.
Exactly. Yeah, I was trying to like articulate what about the vocals like really grossed me out, and like it's that weird accent they put on.
Yeah, no, definitely.
It's like very akin to like the way like a white rapper will talk.
Yeah,
in, like an interview, they put on that weird white rapper accent. Like you'll hear like Eminem do it and like Macklemore do it.
Oh, like Eminem, his whole Relapse album was in that accent, and it was like the most cringy thing
Oh, really?
I remember. Oh God.
Yeah, I have a lot of Eminem hot takes too that we can save.
Okay, next we've got a cover of Status from Sundry Summit 3 from August 4th, 2011. It looks like this is
Let 'em take you for a
acoustic cover.
One more day to leave it all behind, to go where you have never even tried. Don't you let your inhibitions guide your way. Oh, I say, baby, won't you look at me?
Scott just doesn't sound good on an acoustic guitar.
No.
Sounds weird.
I liked his voice though.
Yeah, he had a good voice.
Okay, this is I wonder if this is going to be in Spanish. O Mundo Analogico. Which I don't know what that. Yeah. Okay, and this is a cover of Nugget, which is one of the later songs on the album. It appears he's reading from a sheet with the lyrics on it.
What's that?
He's reading from a sheet with the lyrics on it. I think he's flipping through lyrics right here. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to hear, not the greatest quality.
Right.
And then, okay. Oh, this was, there were a few reaction videos. This is someone reacting to hearing In All Rwanda's Glory. It's like 8.5 minutes long.
Oh, jeez.
So we got a guy here who's in like a Portland Trailblazers outfit, and this must be the first time he's listened to this song.
Oh, he's got a dog behind him?
Looks like it.
Start off intro building up to the lyrics.
I love the
was
YouTube React
perfect.
videos
Real
like
quick.
this. These channels are
Real
awesome.
smooth, and the lyricism. I mean, the lyrics, the vocals are just. I can already tell gonna be pretty good on this one. I didn't know what to expect. With the name of Rx Bandits,
I was really hoping he was going to hate it. That would be better.
Yeah. Does this guy play for the Portland Trailblazers, do you think? Or,
I
like,
don't know.
is it just like a fashion choice?
they said they only gonna protect you if that dollar sign is right. Big facts.
He's getting more out of the lyrics than we did, I think.
I want to hear what he has to say about the part where he just starts listing off races.
Right. Yeah, he's really into it.
He does, yeah, he's digging it.
Yeah.
So this is, the username is Rude Life, and this is uploaded September 27, 2019.
Rude Life? Is he like, oh, maybe he's really down with Scott then.
So this is one of those songs, and being on this channel, I've listened to a lot of songs that sound like they're uplifting and it's real groovy and it's real jamming, but if you listen to the lyrics and
We should just let this guy do our
backstory, or
podcast.
you go look at the back.
Yeah.
It's really a dark telling a story, and I feel like that's what this is. Because for those who don't know, Rwanda's Hotel. If you never seen that movie, you know what I'm saying. You might
Yeah, it
wanna
sounds
go
like he
check
has
it out.
a lot more thoughts on these lyrics than either of us were able to muster up.
Yeah.
Okay. I think... Okay, last one
I
here.
think he was talking about Hotel Rwanda, that movie.
Yeah, which is about the genocide, which I think is what this, in theory, this song was about as well.
Oh, okay. So that's what it's about. Okay. Yeah, they could have been more clear about that.
Yeah. So we got a bass cover here by Misha.
I'm liking the bass.
Boingard. See, I think that's a really cool bass part, but you don't hear it until like you see this person playing it. It's kind
Yeah,
of complicated. It's just kind of buried underneath all these horns, though.
yeah. The mixing on the record wasn't that great. Now that I think about it.
That's a really cool bass line, actually. What are your thoughts on bass lines or like the bass player in general? Do they get enough credit? Too much credit?
No, I think the bass is solidly rated.
The bass is solidly rated.
Yeah, I don't think they get too much credit or too little credit. I think the bass is right where it needs to be, as long as it's not doing too much like Primus or something.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
Okay, so I actually think that is everything that I had. So, I found this one when I was Googling Bandits Progress, and this is a confident horse cantering on the trail, horse named Bandit in his 6-month progress video.
Okay. Progress video about this horse
Named Bandit. I don't know what cantering is. It looks like it's just walking.
I have no idea.
It's just walking.
Yeah, it's cantering, I guess.
Beautiful.
This is uploaded by the Tao of Horsemanship. Bandit came to rider horsemanship on a very confident and often unpredictable horse. Previous training, yet he still remained nervous on the trail and inconsistent. All right, well.
I love it. He's like a reward.
There's Bandit's
reward.
progress.
That was awesome.
And then some horse girl talking.
Horse girl.
Horse girls are weird, man.
I don't. What do you know? Many horse girls?
I almost dated a horse girl in high school. I had a big crush on one, and it was like are we gonna date or are we not gonna date kind of thing? And just we ultimately didn't. And I'm kind of glad now that I've no more horse girls in my life, and it's never good.
It's never good if a girl is into a horse.
It's just they're just a different breed of people. It's like adults that are obsessed with Disney, but less sad.
Less
It's
sad?
like, yeah, I'd say less sad.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, final thoughts on Progress by RX Bandits? Not for you.
Yeah, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Well, I didn't really know what to expect from it, but ultimately, yeah, I didn't care for it. It was trying to do too much, and then the weird white reggae songs just left a bad taste in my mouth. And just I don't know.
I'm still a fan. I definitely realized today that it's too long and has some shitty songs towards the end. And just kind of listening to you talk and kind of going through our conversation, I definitely now wish that I had picked The Resignation. So I might have to accidentally delete this one, and we'll have to re-record. So.
Yeah. I'll probably check out one of the later albums just to see their progress.
Oh. So I think that does it for us. But God willing, following this audio, you're finally going to hear us talk to Toes and Frank from the Thanks for the Podcast, My Chemical Romance podcast, because I have forced them to listen to this, and we'll see if we can catch lightning in a bottle twice with another interview with those folks.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
Peace.
Baby doll, will it catch you seated? All of the best things in life are free. You don't need to be a millionaire to be happy. Now we're all getting older. It's time to get what you wanted. It's time to get what you need. It's time to get what you wanted, baby. It's so hard to see.
All right, welcome back to the Zeitgeist Lab collection, not collective. Once again, Toes and Frank, who we interviewed before, and I lost all of our audio. So as a precaution here, Toes is recording everything so that in case my computer just completely shits out on me after this, we will make sure that listeners actually get to hear this. Toes, Frank, how are you guys doing tonight?
All right.
I'm doing pretty good. Doing pretty great. I'm happy to be here. I'm honestly not being sarcastic.
It sounded pretty sarcastic.
Sorry. No, I had a great time last time. It just sucks we lost the good bits. But you know what? We're gonna revive some of that magic tonight.
We will.
Sure.
Oh yeah, I'm just as stoned as last time. It's not maybe
Yeah,
better.
dude. What's up?
Yeah.
I mean, I probably am too, honestly. But we both listened to this record a couple times.
Okay.
This record in question.
So we want to dive right into being on topic then, and then
Yeah, let's try to stay a little on topic and then see
Let's
where
get that shit out of the way first.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, perfect.
That way it's easier to edit.
Okay. Okay, so RX Bandits progress. What did you guys think?
Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
You can go first.
Okay, cool. My thoughts on it. I didn't hate it. I liked parts of it, honestly. But as a whole, I don't know if it's something I would go back and listen to on my own, much after this or at all. Maybe one or two songs I'll throw on at some point just to hear them again.
Yeah.
I think there's some standouts that we'll get to. I definitely, and I think this is maybe a consensus of ours as a whole. It really feels like early Fall Out Boy is kind of getting tackled by a ska band mid song.
Yeah.
Every time somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's sort of my general consensus on it. I want to dive into some details, but what are your thoughts on it, Frank?
I think they had a couple good songs on there, but I don't know. It seems like every member of the band wanted to do a different genre, and none of them went together.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like they switch what song they're playing in the middle of a song. Also,
Yeah.
I don't know if it was popular at the time, but I don't think that the majority of songs on an album need a minute and a half of ambient noise at the end. I think
There's
that's a little
lot
excessive.
of that. There really is a lot of that.
Well, I mean, the album starts with ambient noise, so
It
I mean,
does.
You
It
gotta
starts
set
with,
the bar high right at the beginning.
But it's it doesn't even flow into the next song or anything. It all. I don't know.
I mean, maybe it's trying to say something, but I don't know what that is. That's another thing. I think the message is really confusing too at times.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about this
try
today while we were getting our food.
Okay, the cover of it, with the Native American and progress. It seems like it's gonna be a real political woke album, and it's there's a couple songs on there that are trying to be, but then the rest of it is just a Fall Out Boy song.
Yeah. Straight up.
It's
and
they
the
couldn't
opposite
commit
of
to one
progressive.
theme again, you know?
Yeah, and
maybe
in 2001, right?
Yeah, 2001.
Maybe in pre 9/11 2001, this was maybe this was super woke and progressive. But then I thought about it and I was like, no, Rage Against the Machine was out at this point.
Yeah,
and that was pretty on the nose, actual progressiveness. Maybe these guys just never got the break they needed, but they've also come back. I've seen as a band that does Deadhead Audio Tree sessions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, kind of some stuff like that.
Which is a real strange term, but also kind of it's kind of exactly what happens to people who continue to play ska. I'm gonna say 9 out of 10 times.
Okay.
I think a lot of times they turn into this Deadhead kind of jam band, assuming that they go down this route still and don't just break up or just break up, I guess. Yeah. I really think that's the only option. I mean, unless you're I guess less than Jake, maybe. I guess they've managed to continue to just play ska punk, right? Or am I not up to date on them?
I'm not a big
don't
Less
know.
Than Jake fan, so I don't know. I'm not
okay.
sure.
All I know is Mighty Mighty Boss Tones. and like
That's a real
our
ska
local
band.
ska bands.
Yeah.
That's pretty much
We
it.
do have some sick local ska bands.
Yeah. Shout out to them.
Yeah.
All right, so
I'm not gonna name
Whoever
the
they
names.
are, yeah.
yeah,
Say the
whoever
name
they
of the
are,
band.
they're out there, right?
Yeah, I think
These
that,
alleged local ska bands.
I think that's kind of what I said about this record earlier today when me and Frank were just talking about it. Like, I think or along those lines, I should say. I think like in a vacuum, it kind of just sounds like maybe the best local band that you have.
Okay.
And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but like that's also maybe what held them back.
Okay.
And I really think the thing that unfortunately the thing that held this band back was clearly the ska parts because or the ska and reggae elements because as good as they did them at times, clearly the Fall Out Boy stuff is what caught on.
Yeah.
Like
Okay, so
That's
I
what
wanna
got
focus-
popular.
I want to focus in on that because I've been listening to this album for a long time. I actually really like this one, but I have never listened to it and thought, oh, I hear Fall Out Boy. So could you maybe elaborate on what you're hearing that reminds you of Fall Out Boy?
specifically what that first record?
Yeah, Take This to Your Grave.
Okay.
Pete was bringing in a lot of his hardcore elements. So it would
Sure.
be like, like, I love hanging out with my friends. And then Pete's like, in the back.
Yeah. Okay.
So that definitely that
I don't know how
juxtaposition.
if
But-
you haven't heard the first album, I don't know how to really.
I mean, like, I've heard the
describe
first album. I'm just trying to figure out. So where did you hear that on this Rx Bandits
Is
album?
it Infection?
Infection, I feel kind of sounds like Panic at the Disco.
Yeah,
almost.
for
At
sure.
first, I was like, it's like Fall Out Boy wrote lyrics for MCR, but then I was like, actually, isn't that just Panic at the Disco?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, really.
So,
Yeah, it's somewhere in that wheelhouse of like early 2000s pop punk, but like it's maybe just a couple of years ahead of that. I mean, maybe there's a couple of bands that were doing that kind of sound before, but and when I say that, I think I just mean like in these like crazy catchy choruses where like it seems like the horns kind of drop off sometimes and they just kick in like a nice, and that's the thing I wanted to point out sonically, a nice sounding distorted guitar, which is not something you often get in ska music. Often when the distorted guitar comes in, it sounds like the fucking cheapest distortion pedal that you could have possibly bought. Compared to this like beautiful clean tone that they've managed to get out of like their like Telecaster or whatever kind of guitar they're using, so that's another thing was like the production of it was like at times more reminiscent of this early 2000s pop punk sound where they were using like big expensive amplifiers to make essentially pop music because that's what they had. They didn't have computer amps yet.
Right.
So I guess, I don't know, like to us, you could call that like punk music to some degree, but it really was just pop music in disguise, just with as much money as you could throw at it without just, I don't know, making a Britney Spears record, I guess it would have been at the time.
Okay.
Yeah, like,
I
right?
love Britney Spears.
I mean, yeah, 2001, that would have
sure.
been Britney era.
She was
so,
my first
yeah, you
crush.
could be,
I was in love with
yeah,
her.
you could be this or
Still
you could be
am.
Britney Spears is what I'm getting at.
Those were the only two options at this time.
Yeah,
I
the
guess.
only ones, yes.
I guess
Okay.
because we didn't have this kind of like we didn't have the pop punk that I'm hearing in these particular parts of these songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the song that has the music video again?
Analog Boy?
Yeah.
There we go.
That one specifically sounds a lot like Fall Out Boy. to me.
Yeah, I
I think it's the second best song on the album.
yeah, it's a good song. I'm glad they gave it a
but
music video.
It does sound the most like Fall Out Boy, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I definitely think that was kind of like their, I guess, attempt to sell out. It was very, like, it's very radio accessible. And
Yeah.
it's kind of like, I really like that song. I think it's a great song as well, but it's,
Yeah, it's a bop.
to me, it was kind of shocking because it's not really maybe what I would typically expect from them. And then, like, if you know anything about them, they're very progressive, very liberal, very anti-establishment. So the idea that they wrote this this song, had the music label or the music video, it just didn't really seem like them.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that being a bit of a, especially at the time, like that's a big like sellout move, man.
That filter,
Right, exactly.
Like
that filter made him look like he had herpes.
it did. Yeah, it wasn't good on him. I mean, maybe we weren't supposed to watch it on like a modern TV, but we did.
Maybe not, yeah.
Because it's what we have now. Yeah, and I do want to say though, maybe not going back on what I said, but definitely coming back around to it. The ska and reggae parts that they do pretty well. Like, I don't think they're bad. I don't think it's cheap. I don't think it's a gimmick. I think they just can't decide what they want to do sometimes. Like Frank was saying.
Yeah. Oh, interesting tidbit for you. Did you know that ska came before reggae?
Yeah, ska did come before reggae. If you guys
Really?
didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's for real.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we
So
actually
technically, reggae, the voice that they put on is racist against white people. It's reverse racism. Like, they're
God.
stealing.
Okay.
Yeah, so like
stealing our culture.
Yeah, so like when white dudes do the reggae voice, it's I guess it's okay then. I guess it has to be.
Oh God.
Like,
I tried to say it all seriously, but I couldn't.
So okay,
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. That's all I know, man. Is that ska came before reggae,
It did.
and if you look that up on Wikipedia, it will confirm that.
okay, so I think that maybe brings me to the next question I would have. On the main episode, Brian and I were trying to decide like what qualifies something as ska. Is it a
Oh my
Is it a
gosh.
rhythmic thing? Is it something? Does it require horns? Like what is and is
It's-
not, like what is ska?
I
It's the
actually,
horns and the upstrokes.
yeah, I actually that is genuinely the answer. I wish, for the first time, I wish my friend Dan was here right now at my house late at night when
would
I'm
have a
just
lot
trying
to
to chill.
say.
Yeah, he'd have so much to say. He's the drummer in my band. He also plays in a ska band, and he's very serious about his passion of ska. He's told me that ska requires upstrokes. It has to be present.
Right.
It does not need horns, but
Okay.
the addition of horns definitely makes it more ska.
So that was the question we had tried to figure out. Like, do you have to have horns for it to be ska?
Yeah,
And
if you're-
it seemed like the answer was not necessarily, but it's recommended.
Yeah, if you're asking, that's pretty much it. If you're asking at least a ska fanatic in today's day and age, that's the answer they would give you, according to me.
And then the next question I have, and I hate having to admit this because it makes me feel like I'm probably some sort of poser, which I know I am, but I don't like having to talk about it. What the fuck are the different waves of ska? I don't understand what the first wave,
fucking
second wave,
Christ.
like what the hell, like what is that shit?
Well,
It's kind of like, from what I'm to understand, it's like how emo comes back every couple years in a different form, and like what we call emo changes.
Right.
It's kind of like how ska has been throughout the years, and as what we call ska now is definitely not what ska started as, but the things that came after it and that have circled back around that were like, oh, we're doing ska, but we're not actually doing ska, but no one knows that because it's been so long since anyone's heard ska. But now we have the internet, so we can like look back on it all and give it all names.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think it's part like internet culture is like naming the times that a certain genre came back, but it's also like a sonic thing. If you talk to people who are like experts on it, I've read about it some, but the knowledge has escaped me at this point.
as much as I hate Reddit has a lot to say on the topic.
Oh yeah, I bet they do.
Yeah.
Which thread?
I'm just gonna say r/ska.
That's
I mean,
probably.
Yeah. What else would it be?
probably.
Yeah, I'll reach out to Dan later. He's probably sleeping. He has to work in the morning, but
And
Yeah,
so,
okay.
what do either of you guys have an opinion on what wave this album would fall under?
I don't. No.
I don't have any
Okay.
idea.
Yeah, I don't know what wave of ska this is. I'm sure someone out there is like, oh, it's this, and that's cool. Like, you know.
I don't know if we're in the fourth wave yet.
Oh, is
like-
that maybe like a developing wave of ska?
I think so.
Oh.
I don't think it's been generally agreed upon that we have moved into the fourth wave.
Interesting. Okay.
But I feel like we kind of have.
Sorry, this conversation and kind of what we said earlier has brought me to it brought me to this earlier, like in the day, but I forgot about it until now.
Okay.
I do think that this music, this record, is maybe the beginning of like this weird thing that we have nowadays called like ska emo.
Schemo.
Okay.
Schemo, if you will. Yeah. It definitely, it definitely at times rides the line of like, you know, what I've heard bands trying to do and call like a ska emo mix.
Okay.
You know, very, very sad lyrics, maybe minor key, but you still got those horns fucking blasting away on top of it.
Yeah.
I actually did look at the Reddit thread, and it says that like first wave was around like 50s, and then the second wave started in the 70s, and then the third wave started in like the 90s.
Dude, I would love to hear a 50s ska band. That's fucking sick.
Yeah, they've been around for a long time.
They fucking record that shit on
because
wax.
apparently, you know, this is what my memory is telling me, but my memory also just sometimes makes things up. But I do believe that reggae was influenced by ska because those are like the kinds of records that they got in Jamaica.
Oh,
like
okay.
That's just what they had over there, and so it became like really popular music, and so yeah.
That totally makes sense. Yeah.
That does make sense.
Yeah. So if that's true, and
so that we're still in the third wave of ska, is what you're seeing, Frank?
Well, if it started in the 90s, then I think it's about time we've started the fourth wave. I think we're getting in there.
So maybe 100 Gex is fourth wave ska.
No.
Then? No. Okay. All right.
No.
That's fine.
You tried.
I did.
Don't talk to me about that shit.
Yeah, sorry. Do we have anything else about the record you wanted to ask us or touch on?
Well, I guess I want to touch on the fact that you said you didn't necessarily feel like you knew what it was about, and I just thought I would let you guys know that what we found was it was originally supposed to be called Artificial Intelligence and the Fall of Technology, and it's supposedly a concept album about technology.
Okay.
Interesting.
But I didn't necessarily hear that, and I feel like I can hear it in some songs, but other songs, I'm like, I don't really know what this has to do with technology necessarily.
Yeah.
And sometimes they just get really political. Yeah, definitely. I think Analog Boy is a great example of that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it. Yeah, I don't know if I hear that necessarily. I mean, maybe if I really sat down and took apart the lyrics, but I'm not gonna do that.
Maybe they started it out and were like, man, concept album is way harder than we thought. Let's just put some other songs in there too.
Well, that's the problem. The album's too long. It gets too, like, the last few songs are just insane.
Well, the
like,
last song is like 7 minutes long.
It is.
Yeah. And that's the 15th track. Like,
Jesus,
it's a little long.
Yeah.
It's long for what it is, I think. I think it doesn't pay off, is all. Like, if it really paid off or, like, felt like it went through like movements or something, I could see that, but it doesn't feel that way to me. Yeah, especially with the long weird pauses in it. I think that doesn't help either. It doesn't need an opening track called like 0028 or whatever, and it's 28 seconds of silence. I don't fucking need that.
Sure, no, I agree with that.
I just don't, is all. Like, I don't know, man. It was a different time. It was a different time. 9/11 hadn't happened. No one was trying to fucking go anywhere. We were all everyone was just holding still, playing their, was it the PS1 still?
I don't know. I had an Xbox.
Yeah, but I don't think the Xbox would have been out yet. Is what I'm saying.
It would have been I couldn't form memories yet.
That's fair. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We were all just sitting there fucking dick in hand. Nothing better to do.
Shitting in my fucking
and then
diaper.
George Bush comes along and fucking ruins it all. And all the while, the RX Bandits are just fucking upstroking away. Yeah. Did they have anything canceled by 9/11? Because this album came out like right before, right?
Did they have anything canceled? I mean, it came out in July. I don't know if they had anything canceled. They're probably too small to have anything canceled.
Like a tour or anything, or a show?
I don't know. You think about 9/11 a lot more than I do, and I feel like I think about it a lot.
Yeah. Well, dude, we're talking about records that came out around the time.
I think that 9/11 is a very important milestone in American history.
Yeah.
Like, I don't give a shit about all the people that died, but it changed the way that we do things in America forever. Whether it deserved to be that way or not.
I mean, it's like COVID, man. Like it's changing.
It's a milestone. Like, things are different pre and post, and you can see even in media, like how it affects that.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely think it put a haste in everyone's step. I think it definitely like made everyone think they were running out of time on this earth. You know? Like,
yeah, for sure.
I think you definitely see that, and I mean, we had like a huge boom in punk music after it too, obviously. But I don't know, man. It's I do think about it a lot. Okay, I was a child.
So yeah, I don't know if they were on tour. They had a show on August 25th, 2001, and then their next one was September 26th, 2001. So whether or not that gap is partially because of 9/11, but I don't think it's fully because of 9/11. They were clearly on some sort of break in between tours at that point.
Oh, okay.
So I don't think they were directly affected by 9/11.
I think
for all we know, they did it.
Yeah.
Oh
maybe
shit!
That's what they were doing on 9/11.
Oh fuck!
Wow. I didn't think.
Oh damn,
It doesn't
dude.
say. Yeah, it doesn't say where they were.
Do they have an alibi?
That's true.
Get somebody
Not
on
that
the
I know
phone.
of.
I don't know
Nothing that
who.
I can find out. Yeah.
Wow. What a thing to take a break as a band to do.
Fuck
That's
yeah.
huge.
Yeah.
I mean,
it
I
is.
respect them tremendously for that.
Huh.
I mean, to do all that for the art, I think that's great.
You think that's why the record was called Progress?
Yeah, I think so.
Because it's the opposite of Congress. I wasn't, for the record, I did not have that in the barrel. That just came to me.
That just came to you.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard that obviously it's like a, dumb meme joke, but yeah. I wasn't thinking about it in context of the record is what I'm saying. Like that did not, yeah, until
you didn't have that one ready to go. Gotcha.
No, I didn't have that written down anywhere. like on my hand.
Maybe you should write it down.
You come with crib notes.
I once wrote a joke on my hand to like say like on stage, and by the time I got there, I had sweated so much and like drank enough to where it wasn't really legible anymore, and it was like really fucking dark on the stage too. So I think I just fumbled through it. I don't think I remembered it very well. I couldn't even tell you what it was at this time. Fuck, man. Yeah, what else do you guys want to talk about? Do you want to talk about Hello Goodbye or like?
I don't know. I mean, what else do you guys have? I mean,
on this or just like in general?
On anything, whatever. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know,
staying on
man.
topic. Who cares? Like,
I don't know. We got to do.
I want to keep talking about 9/11 personally.
Oh yeah.
The way that they built the towers from the very beginning was wrong. It was not built in a way that it wouldn't collapse if something hit it. Like they cut corners at everywhere they could, and so like the buildings from the very beginning were not meant to like stand. They were gonna topple over. It was like I don't remember the fucking specifics of it, but if they had spent like $100,000 more or whatever, like people, like not that many people would have died because like the whole tower wouldn't have collapsed on itself.
Yeah.
Plus, all the paper in there just was a recipe for disaster for the whole thing to go up in flames.
Yeah, they should have gone
Because
paperless.
they were right on the cusp of going paperless. Like they were getting they were transferring things over onto computers finally in 2001, but they still had all these paper files in just like floors and floors of it. So it just yeah.
I think the four of us could solve 9/11.
okay.
I've listened to 12 hours of podcasts of conspiracy theories about 9/11.
I've listened to a lot of records that have come out right before and right after the occurrence of 9/11. So there's got to be something in there.
Yeah, I think we could put it all together and figure out the answer.
Yeah, if we
it
just
sounds
start
like
watching
you're
it on
thinking that
video.
George W. Bush did it, though, right? I think that's what I picked up on you saying earlier.
Yeah, he's probably a ringleader of some sort.
He
think
was the ringleader of democracy of America.
I think that he was just a figurehead.
No, I think he drove the plane.
Dick Cheney was the mastermind behind all of it. Dick Cheney pulled George Bush's strings the entire time.
Yeah, my money is that George Bush was on the plane physically and he drove it and he jumped out at the last second, like in Grand Theft Auto.
That's a good one.
It could be.
And then, but he jumped from the first plane onto the second plane so that he could fly the second plane also into.
Yeah.
All right, well, we solved it. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dick Cheney
Case
was the one
fucking
who.
closed.
Dick Cheney was the one filming when the first plane hit. That's why there happened to be a camera. Why else? Would
Yeah,
there
why
be
the
a
fuck
camera
was there a
rolling?
camera rolling?
Not because it's fucking New York City or anything like that. That's no sense.
No sense at all. It was definitely like they wanted it on
Engineered
film.
from the
You
beginning.
got to play both sides a little bit. You know, the flat earthers are only going to listen to you if you say some dumb shit occasionally.
Hey, that might be a good idea for one of our podcast seasons. Would be to talk about flat Earth. There's got to be something there.
Yo,
Oh yeah,
a lot
we can do a whole
yeah.
season on
There's a lot
conspiracy theories.
Well, if you're gonna do flat Earth, then you have to do hollow Earth, and if you're gonna do that, then you have to do flat and hollow Moon as well.
Okay.
Christ. Why does the moon have to be flat and hollow?
Don't ask me. I'm not the one
Wait, how
doing
can
the
it be
research.
flat and hollow?
Yeah,
Wait,
it's both at the same time. Look,
It
there are
can't be both.
people.
It can't be flat and hollow.
No, literally, there are people that believe that.
And how many of them are professional athletes? I'm going to say 5 or 6.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, there's definitely a couple.
None of them are college graduates.
There are so many professional athletes and like actors who are flat earthers. It's insane.
I bet.
Yeah.
Well, they have all the money, so they probably know the truth.
Oh, that's true. You know.
Do you guys listen to the last podcast on the left?
I have not.
Oh, it's very good. It's all about like true crime, conspiracy theories, paranormal stuff like that. But they did the whole series on 9/11. They did a whole like hour-long episode on flat Earth that I thought was really interesting.
Did they solve it though?
I mean, maybe. They did 3 episodes on it. Like the first one was just the facts, and then there was the conspiracy theory, and then there was the like paranormal explanations for it. Like Satanists summoned these planes to crash into them.
Yeah.
But they're very funny. If you're into weird stuff like that, I highly recommend. They're on Spotify.
Okay.
This is not a plug for them.
It's
Although
clearly a
if
plug
they-
for them and Spotify for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, why are we
Oh,
talking
no,
about other
not a
podcasts
plug
on
for
our
Spotify
podcast?
because it's not on Spotify Premium. It's for free. I don't pay for Spotify. Fuck Spotify. I'm not paying for it. I only have it so I can listen to that podcast.
No, we should plug our sponsor though, Weed Maps. If Weed Maps isn't our sponsor yet, but if they want to sponsor me and give me some free stuff, that'd be super cool.
Yeah, let's get that out there.
I don't
All
think
20 of our listeners
I don't
will
think they
can write
give
to
us
Weed
weed,
Maps.
No, they don't. They can't give you free weed, but they can give you like swag.
Yeah, they can give me a shirt that says Weed Maps on it.
Yeah, I would love to be. I would love to be clothed by a company. I'll show up to work at my warehouse job with my Weed Map shirt on. People will be like, "Oh, did you get a sponsor on your podcast?" I'll say, "Yes, I did."
That'll be the first guess for sure.
Yeah.
Fuck
I mean-
yeah.
Yeah, definitely will.
I don't think any of the old people you work with will know what that is.
No, we're just swinging for the fences is all.
Yeah. No, you got to go big.
Yeah, that's what I'm
I
saying.
mean, I know you've set the bar very high, saying anyone with 100 followers or more can be a guest on your podcast. So, I mean, obviously,
Yeah. We're only getting
pretty
big
high
names.
standards. Yeah,
Yeah.
only huge names.
Yeah, we're recording a fucking guest spot tomorrow with a huge name. I'm fucking stoked.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
once we get over 100 followers, then we'll raise our standards.
Yeah. But until then,
Only 72 more to go, right?
But yeah.
are you watching?
I'm always watching.
Jesus, man. Do you have like some sort of like widget installed on your computer that like notifies you every time we gain or lose a follower?
Yeah, that's right. I get push notifications right to my phone.
Oh, good,
Fucked
good.
up, dude.
You know, I turned on
fucked up.
push notifications from Twitter recently, mostly because I thought we were like legit gonna get someone who like we're both like a fan of and are into their content, but I don't know if anything's coming of that. That wasn't who I was just talking about, by the way. The person I was just talking about is not that big, but I'm talking like a 15K follower person who messaged me back like instantly and was like interested in the thing, and then I haven't heard from them
nice.
since.
Yeah.
Uh,
That was like a day or two ago.
yeah, so like,
Who knows?
you know,
I
that's
mean,
how
maybe
it goes.
he's just
though.
a busy guy.
Yeah, maybe
Well-
he's just a busy guy.
We'll keep
But,
keep our fingers crossed for you that you can land that big
Yeah,
guest.
whatever.
Yeah.
You won't know who it is anyway.
Yeah,
Too
it's
cool
Tommy.
for
Oh,
you.
thank you. It's Sound Alone.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've never heard
Yeah,
of
he
him.
only
Yeah, I'm
has
not sure who that
he
is.
only has 15K followers for some reason.
You're right. Yeah.
Pretty fucked
Yeah.
up.
It's after you released the Rebel Girl video, it really lost a lot of
Yeah,
followers.
definitely.
Fucking bad.
Yeah.
Was
Okay,
Rebel
so I
Girl
don't think-
the first one? Yeah, it was the first
The
one,
f-
I think.
Yeah, that was like the incel one.
Yes, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, that was the
Mhm.
one.
For sure. So I don't think we mentioned it at the top of the interview here, but you guys host a podcast. Thank you for the podcast.
Oh yeah,
I guess so.
yeah. Great job,
yeah.
us. Great job plugging the podcast, us.
Right. It's,
They know.
supposedly it's about My Chemical Romance is what I've gathered. I don't know. I haven't listened
Yeah,
yet, but I'm
it's
sure
in
it's
there.
great.
It's
Fine, I guess.
we're the only My Chemical Romance podcast on the internet.
Well, I know
That's
that's
true.
accurate.
That's
Yeah,
true.
that's got to be true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I keep saying it, so the more I say it,
It
the more
has to
true
be
it
true.
becomes. It's like religion.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, anything else that you guys want to plug before we wrap this thing up?
I don't know. Follow the podcast on Twitter, and if you can't figure out everything else from there, then you're an idiot.
Yeah, so it's at Thanks for the Pod. There are some vowels in there at some spots, no vowels in others. You'll figure it out. You can follow Toes at EXE Toes. Trying to get to 100 followers so you
Yeah.
can get some Crocs, I
Find
guess.
some Crocs. Twitter's paying for those Crocs.
They're not. You're paying for them.
Yeah, but in spirit, Twitter's paying for them.
And then you can follow Frank at Approaching Bear, according
That's
to your.
me.
That's you, yep.
That's me.
And do you want to? I know we tried this last time. Do you want to try plugging your band's Toes?
Oh yeah, I am in a band sometimes called Muppet Head. You can find us on Facebook, I think. I mean,
That is such a sick name.
maybe. Thank you. Maybe
It's
also
it's
Instagram.
better than the first one. Do you want to hear what it was supposed to be first before I told them they had to change it? It was Stink and the Dummies.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm embarrassed by that, and I'm not
Bad.
even in the band, so you need to
I
change
think
it.
we talked about this last time.
Yeah, we may have. I don't know if it even got on.
I tell
mic or
everyone I
not,
can.
But
Yeah.
but yeah. And then my other band, who's like, we're working on an EP right now,
This
kind
is
of.
the good one.
We're called the Southside Choir Boys. We're on Facebook and Instagram for sure. I think we're on Twitter too. I don't know. I'm supposed to run that, and I don't do a great job of it.
Toes also does all the recording, mixing, and mastering for
Oh yeah, that's why I have
all
this.
of her bands.
That's why I have
and
this big
others.
interface. Is to do
Nice.
that. Yeah, there's no other way to record drums.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to get in a real smelly basement.
Ugh,
First.
okay.
Every single record we've recorded as a band, by the way, if you go listen to the Choir Boys stuff, they're all recorded in like I think progressively smellier basements. As
Okay,
time
this
went
basement
on.
isn't that smelly anymore. We
No,
got
not
to smell
anymore.
less.
Not anymore. The one that we're currently using, but the one before was just the house that I lived in.
And you had a smelly basement.
Yeah.
Well, my cat shit down there, so yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a
now
real- I got a
now
real
they
shitty
record
cat.
at the location.
It's our
You
studio.
can follow the location on Instagram.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
it's like
Yeah, what is it?
oh,
It has its own Instagram.
It's like
That's
at
crazy.
the location _13 or something like
Yeah,
that.
you don't get to see any of the cool like area where we practice and chug
No, but
beers,
there's lots of pictures of like bugs and plants and cats and things.
Yeah. Is that
Okay.
the one? Did your mom?
Yeah, okay, it's
Do that?
the _location _13.
Okay. And that is the Instagram for your basement, essentially?
No,
The
it's not
house
our
that the
basement.
basement's in.
No, we don't live there.
Oh, okay.
It's
No, we just practice here.
It's
Oh, okay, gotcha.
my dead great grandma's house. My mom has been renovating it for like a couple years now. It's very slow going, but she keeps a lot of plants and she takes pictures of them and bugs and birds and the raccoons that live in the ceiling and shit.
Gotcha.
So I'm
Yeah.
plugging that for my mom.
She doesn't care
Okay.
if we practice and
Yeah.
make records in the basement.
Nice.
Yeah, that one smelled because it had been closed off for like 50 years.
Yeah, we had to
Okay.
we had to like unbury this room and pry
Yeah.
it open. Yeah,
Nice.
it's been a real journey. So that's all the lore you need to know.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys for coming on again. I know we're going to get this one on because we're recording it on 2 different devices. There's
Oh.
no way this is going to get lost. So
Fuck yeah, we are.
You fucking better not. I'm gonna come to Utah and kick your ass. Utah.
Toast.exe. I'm a little tiny puppy, yo. Yes, that's me. What's up, fuck? Never rap before. Show me some respect or I'll shit on the floor. Rap game. Time's alarm. I be talking aliens while they dropping bombs. Oh! It's a 9/11 reference.